So we've decided to become off-grid continuous cruisers forever and work out how to make money en route. We are the Nomadic Crobot. That was quite a good little intro, what do you reckon? So obviously those plans are on hold until we have completely refitted the entire boat due to a leak that we discovered 2 days after purchase. But I've just been itching to say it, and we will get there. And part of getting there is we need heating on this blimmin' thing. Originally we didn't really want to use our old Audi boiler for that. We had heard they use up a hell of a lot of gas. But they do have their pros and cons, so we are actually going to reinstate it and just give it a whirl, because all the plumbing's in there for it. You don't really know until you try it, and we've got a few little tricks up our sleeves. And guess what? We've just reinstated our kitchen. We've put everything back. It's taken forever to get it right, and now we might actually have to try and get under it again to track the plumbing pipes. So yeah, this should be fun. Guess what? We have another hatch problem. Welcome, kitchen hatch problem. Well, it's sort of a kitchen hatch problem. There has to be some sort of water along the back here.
It is underneath.
So let's pause that there for a moment and let's run back how the day started out, because it wasn't the only problem we ran into. Hi guys, we are Chris and Becks, the Nomadic Crobot.
Because we're currently working out the radiator pipe work, it means we're unable to carry on with the flooring in the hallway or start tackling the installation of the bathroom.
So in today's episode we're going to be tracking the old radiator pipes that run under in the bilges of the boat. Also in the episode, as a lot of you know, we're missing that one side panel of the hatch, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. So we've cleared this whole space here so Becca can have a proper look. Becca can have a proper look and try and work out what's going on with our radiators. Well, we haven't got any, have we? But we need some. We've got all these pipes we need to sort of try and work out where they are on the circuit of the boat. So there's meant to be a pipe here from when the older radiators were installed. So we're going to try and get this board up on the floor and see if it's sort of wiggled down, because it's not poking out of where it's meant to. But this board, the problem with this board is when me and the Maverick put it down, it kind of got a bit wedged. So it's the trickiest board on the boat to get up, really.
So I've just had a thought. Before we struggle to get this tricky floorboard up, I'm wondering if we should take this wall panel off, because you can see here the floor panel goes under it, so it's going to catch on there, and it's going to catch on these bathroom walls here and here. So at least if we take the wall off here, we'll be able to hopefully just lift it from that side.
Bex loves taking off wall panels. I've never taken a wall panel off, but you're always taking off wall panels. Normally when I'm like chilling or something and then I come along and Bex has taken another side panel off, they don't go back on. Yeah. What's behind there? Because you know what lives in the walls, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Because that's where all the little sacks are, isn't it? Egg sacks. DIY with Chrissy Crobot. This is exactly how you do it. I mean, it is actually, for once, exactly how you do it. Exactly how you use a screwdriver. Screwdriver. Pull it all off, rip it all out again. Is it a nest? Is it a sack? A bit of excess nest there. We need one of them chainsaws, like a boat time. Shear into it, wouldn't it? What would you guys do? Get in there with a multi-tool, Bex. Becca is an artist when it comes to the multi-tool. Do you do the thing where you sort of spin it around to get it going, sort of start it up?
Nope. I like to take care of my tools.
It's a bit like a car, you know, sometimes you've got to jump start a car, you've got to push a car. With the angled grinder, you have to spin it around. That's the only way you get a clean cut.
Cut a little square around it and we'll think about how to correct that later.
We're meant to be going cruising. It's all coming off. More's coming off. And now we can get this one up, hopefully, because it's not got the side on it. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I missed the bilges. This one here, we probably need coming out the wall, don't we, again?
Yeah.
If we want to have heating. And now we've got to get this one up. We need to get this pipe, don't we? The radiator pipe back underneath here, don't we? Actually, there's loads of water back in there. I mean, there's a little bit of moisture in there, but that's just condensation, isn't it? That would have been a shock, wouldn't it? We didn't even think of that. A lot of people that got narrowboats told us they'd never seen down in the bilges, and our bilges are quite clean and tidy as well. Oh, actually, well, it's nice, I suppose, because it's your home. It's nice knowing what lives underneath the floorboards. I mean, don't all start ripping up your floorboards just to see what's under there. I'm sure you wouldn't take my advice on that. Anyway, good God, here we go again, guys. Back in the bilges. I always wanted to be a cruising narrowboat channel. Cruise, you know, film all the canals and rivers and locations. And we're just doing ballast now. Ballast, some tubes. Our plans for cruising the entire river and canal network for the next 2.5 years isn't happening anymore. We're literally just messing around with rust and stuff. So we've got to get these 2 pipes into this area.
So we're just going to make a channel through the wooden beams that the pipes can sit in, so that when you put the floor back on, they're not being pinched and stuff because they're squashed in between the 2.
Whey!
Just got to do that another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
There we go. Lucky it's under the floorboards, I think, aren't we? Yes, I know it's a bit of a crow bodge, but it worked, and you know, they're not getting squashed now, are they? So let's get these put back. Then a little bit later in the episode, we'll take up a few more floor panels and keep tracking that piping. Crobot is progressing. So we've been absolutely blown away with the amount of support from you guys from trying to get us on our way on this mad little journey.
And this week we've had the lovely Philip, who actually just lives down the road from us, come forward to help us out with a particular problem we've experienced. Now, does anyone remember the case of the mysteriously vanishing side hatch panel that was kind of bespokely routed around the edge to sort of follow a lovely pattern that goes on around the lounge and the woodwork? So Philip has made us a replacement piece. Like, how lucky are we? And he's done a grand job as well. He's routed out the exact pattern to sort of match just by us giving him a few sort of little measurements and bits.
So let's have a look. So just here on the left side, can you see? It's missing, unfortunately. Look at her show it off.
Like one of those people on a game show.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you could win, except I'm far less glamorous in a big woolly jumper.
Look at the lovely little corner. So there, obviously that will line in with the top part there. You can see on the right side here, it fits in all nicely. And also, Philip is actually taken on a narrowboat build himself. So he's got his own Instagram page up. Check out the details to that down below. He's been refitting his boat for 4 years. He's actually been welding new steel plates underneath it. He's been doing a lot of it all himself because he's pretty handy by the looks of things. What's that?
Massive panel just blew off and flew into the river.
Oh God. Very windy out there today.
So all we need to do is just quickly cut them down to length, because it's given us a bit of extra length just to make sure we can do the sort of final tweaks, and then we'll slap a bit of varnish on her. When she's dry, up she goes. Happy days.
Yeah, it's been so windy here today, guys, and Becca's proud selection of stolen wood on the roof is starting to become a bit of a problem. Is it windy?
It's really windy.
Take your hat off.
Because I'm worth it. Just keep hold on one thing.
So, time for junk wood recovery. It's not junk wood, I promise you. It all has a purpose, according to Becks. If I get to the end, I could quickly get it. If we get... It's not really ours, is that one? Exciting vlog, isn't it? Okay, let's get this bad boy cut in extreme English weather conditions. Extreme narrowboating. Okay.
Hope that's right.
Little sandy wandy. Little screwy wooey. And before we put it back on the wall, we've got to glove up and varnishy? Does that work? So we'll let that dry and we'll come back to it later in the episode and get it up on the hatch. Alright, and then that's it. No more hatches ever. Yeah, right. On to the next bit.
So we've traced the pipe work up to here, and now we're just going to carry on because we've got a missing radiator pipe there, so we're just going to see if we can find it and poke it back through the wall and carry on tracing the pipe work.
Doesn't always work. The downfall. So that's disconnected. Let's hope it's somewhere in this bit, because otherwise we've got to get all the kitchen back up and try and find the one bit of piping.
Oh, bugger.
Oh God.
So we have a case of the mysteriously vanishing pipe. What comes out my mouth? So we're just going to go and have an investigation where in the boiler cupboard where the pipe should exit, so to speak, and try and figure out what's going on between there and here.
Originally we weren't going to use these pipes when we started laying everything back down. We weren't really going to use the Audi boiler for heating, but now we want to try maybe giving the Audi boiler, you know, give him a go, I suppose, yeah, and see how he gets on before sort of ditching him and putting a whole new system in. But now obviously we put everything back and on top, thinking we're not using these pipes, so we need to try and reinstall them, don't we, somehow?
And even worse, the section where things have started to go awry is right under the kitchen floor. So that's nice. That's a really nice thought.
So in here is where we've got to go. Follow me, Rebecca. So these ones on the right here look like they go towards the living room. These ones down the bottom here go underneath the kitchen, unfortunately, over there to the heaters running along the side of the boat. And the two here on the far left probably go down to the bathroom. So under there somewhere there's a bit of piping. It's dangerously close to the kitchen floor that Becca's just spent 2 weeks doing, so we want to try and avoid bringing up the kitchen floor really. There are the options of bringing up a couple of the panels down this end, or just to multi-tool maybe into this little panel and try and free it and hope and pray that it's living under there. But we've looked back at some old footage of when we pulled the kitchen apart, and it's literally by this line here, judging by the old footage. But I mean, it might not be. Maverick may have just gone mad and ripped it out. I don't know. Let's try this, yeah? Should we multi-tool?
There it is.
Can you see it?
She is.
Wow. So look how close that is. That is pushing it, isn't it?
Finally, with some luck
fall through
on
a bit,
our side.
No. So that gives us a little bit more of a clearer understanding of the pipework on the boat. Lucky we didn't have to get that kitchen floor up, eh? Guess what? We have another hatch problem. Welcome, kitchen hatch problem. Well, it's sort of a kitchen hatch problem. Check this out. Has to be some sort of water along the back here. Oh dear. The rest of the hatch looks alright.
We've got a slightly drippy connector on the expansion tank, and it is this connector bit that I've always been a bit dubious of, and actually the Maverick said that they're notoriously a bit tricky as well. This is the one.
That's absolutely soaking, that is.
So I think what might do is change over that whole connection that's coming out of the expansion tank, put an on-return valve coming out of it and a flexi hose, and just change the fittings that are on it, which are old and obviously a bit leaky. They're tight.
So Becks is going to fix that up in a little bit. I'm going to fix up my beautiful hatch once and for all. Good God. Look at it, guys. It looks spot on to the one that went missing. So this is the old right side here, and as you can see, it's got this pattern routed in which connects up to the top. And this is the side that Philip sorted for us, and look, it is absolutely spot on. We'll probably bung another coat of varnish on there, but until then, all 3 hatches are completed. This is the second hatch, as you can see, and the third hatch. And one day you can all look forward to them all rotting away and me having to do them again. So as a lot of you guys know, one of our awesome subscribers, Philip, cheers Philip, came to our rescue and saved our hatches once and for all. They're all done, it's over, hatches are done. But he also had a bonus gift for Crobot. So what we've got is 3 of these massive bags he greeted us with. We'll get to this amazing bonus present in a bit, but first Becks has a leak to sort. So not only was it leaking down here, the condensation on this giant Kinder Egg was ridiculous. Off you go then, better get it out.
There.
Yeah. So that's what's collected up in roughly 40 minutes. So a quick trip to Screwfix. And that's the RAS, and that means that it's potable.
Basically what we're doing is replacing that length with that and replacing this sort of mechanism with this. Get rid of this problematic thing, which is where it's being leaky. This is what the Maverick was explaining to me, that when you have these plastic fittings onto metal fittings, these in particular tend to just end up knackered like that, and that's probably why it was leaking, because it's the metal's eaten into the plastic's not hard enough. But these are funny fittings, wouldn't recommend them. I think they're quite old, they're probably from when the boat was originally plumbed in. Get that off and we'll put something better on. So we've just got the last nut to tighten.
Tighten.
Yeah, I can't really do. If you just want to turn the water on and
You alright?
I'm just
So we'll keep an eye on that, but that all seems good. The problem now is Becca's lovely floors in the kitchen. I think we might have to get them up in a bit. Bag number 2. Bag number 3! Can you guys guess what is in the 3 bags? Is it loads of side panels to the hatches? Loads of spare ones?
loads of gloves.
Bags and bags of different issue glove. Cheers, Philip. Look at this. They're little briquettes. So not only does Becca have an obsession with wood, Philip also has an obsession with wood. He's a joiner, so rather than throw away all the excess wood shavings, he's got a clever little device, a machine, which compresses it all into these little briquettes. Sort of little ones like this, the cuter style one. Softwood. And in here, we've got the hard nut wood. Looks a little bit like luncheon meat.
corned beef.
The third one.
I think that looks like a mixture. I can't quite remember what he said.
Okay, so let's fire up the fire and see how we get going with these. So what do you reckon we should do, Bex? Should we
Get a burn on!
should we just, so we won't put any coal on the, or normal wood, we'll just do it with kindling and then shove a few of these on and we'll see how much heat we can get out of these little bad boys. What a I'm dribbling as well.
That's so exciting. He's dribbling.
Okay, so we'll just let that burn a little bit.
We were warned not to put too many on at once because once these get a bit of heat on them, they expand. So we don't want like fiery like nuggets flying around the room. That could be a good new menu item for McDonald's, fiery nuggets. Anyway.
Flame nuggets. Oh, well, that one we're not going to see. What happens to that one? That one we could see.
Well,
the
these
final
bloody
one,
things are...
Yeah, that one we'll see. Oh, that one we won't see either.
Don't worry, I haven't finished yet. Just trying to position them. Softwood here at the front. Hardwood there. Mixed wood, or whatever that third one was. So we'll give that a minute or two, then we'll open it up and just get an idea of how they're burning. But I'm excited. I think there's good potential and I think it's such a good initiative. Like, why not harness all the leftover material you have to use as a firewood? So let's have a little look at how they're doing.
Wow.
Oh wow. So yeah, you can see how much they've expanded. There's a good amount of heat coming off the fire now, that quickly.
What do you think, another 3?
But they're definitely giving off a good amount of heat. We love you, Philip! For anyone out there who wants to check out for themselves just how awesome his carpentry and joining skills are, have a look down below in our description where you'll find details for his pages.
They're going, aren't they?
So what better way to end a Crobot episode than a little bit of hatch chaos? And hatch chaos is what greeted Becks in the kitchen.
So we're just going to pull up the soggy floorboards to let it air and dry out now that we've corrected the problem. It's going to come up really easily. You'll see how wet it is underneath. Very wet. She's sitting on the wall.
Is it?
Becca soggy kitchen floor removal? Check. Dehumidification process? Check. Another Crobot disaster? Check.